I'm recording. Check, check, mic.
Check.
Check.
I'm speaking.
Mic, check.
Burp, burp, burp.
Okay.
And a one, and a two, and a three, and we clap.
Okay. Wait. Whoa. I don't know.
Oh,
Do it a little faster.
was that a bad? Okay. Okay.
And count it backwards.
Count. So 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Is that better?
I think so. Yeah. I was just trying to get your rhythm.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 7, and a 10. I counted
Five,
and
six,
we
seven,
clapped, and welcome to our show.
Hello.
Presidents. Welcome to my favorite president.
Episode 12.
12.
Baker's dozen. Oh no. That Baker's dozen is 13, isn't it?
13. It's just, yeah,
Just
Baker's
the
is
regular
13.
old dozen.
Just a plain old dozen.
The decal? No, that's 10.
Dodecahedron.
Dodecahedron. Yeah.
Great shape.
Mm-hmm.
Great shape. Hi everybody. My name's Dutch.
And my name is Deep Throat.
Yeah. This is another short president, so there's going to be some possible hijinks, and I'll talk in like a very slow manner, so that
We'll talk with a southern drawl. Was this guy southern?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I say with much confidence. I actually didn't look to see where he was from.
Oh, he's another Virginia guy.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I guess like the North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, that was like your original states along the eastern border. So it tracks. It tracks.
So what's this guy's name?
Zachary Taylor, which I get
first names.
Zachary. Yeah, we don't trust him. Zachary is an interesting name because for me it sounds like a very modern name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but it's not. I think it's a biblical name.
Like Zachariah.
Like Zachariah and all of that. But when I read it, I'm like, man, this guy was new and up and coming. Short presidency.
Do you mind me asking how he died? Is it too spoilery?
He died from stomach something. I think they don't know for sure. I won't spoil it till the end because that's a nice little moment. But they suspect he died of cholera or some sort of stomach infection. Yeah.
What is cholera? Didn't I ask that before?
I think so.
It's just like.
But let's look it up
cholera.
because it's an acute diarrhea illness caused by infection of the intestine and Vibrio cholera bacteria. People can get sick when they swallow food or water contaminated with cholera bacteria. The infection is often mild or without symptoms, but can sometimes be severe and life-threatening. So basically, if you don't have like antibiotics and clean food and clean water, if you just continue to eat the bacteria-infested food and water, you can die from it. So
do you dry out or who knows?
I think you
Like a raisin.
you might just crap yourself to death, unfortunately.
Oh no. Poor Zachary.
Yeah, and also like I just think you just don't. You start to become malnutritioned. Nutritious.
Right. Oh, that's true.
Because you're not.
You can't digest
your intestines aren't pulling the nutrients out of the food you're eating. It's just basically evacuating everything because it's got bacteria in it. It's a very curable disease now. I think people still die from it, unfortunately, but because we have third world countries who don't have clean food and drinking water, it's. There is a movie called Love in the Time of Cholera, which is a wild.
Is it a documentary?
In the Time of Cholera. It is not a documentary. It is a
romance.
Fiction romance by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, I think. Marquez? Great book. He also does a book where everyone's named the same character.
Oh, Javier Bardem's in it. Very great actor.
Great actor. Give me
check it out.
author. Let me Wikipedia. Work with me here. Give me a list of books, sir. Because I forget what the title is, and I loved it.
It's by the guy who directed Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
I think that's a different.
Like the book was written by Gabriel. That's a different person.
A different person. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's both. I think of Spanish descent, but yes. Frick. What the heck was that book called?
What was it about?
It was a book about like a generations of families, and it's like kind of. I don't even want to. Fantastical in that like there are like ghosts and stuff, and like I think a woman like was putting laundry away and she just like floats away, and everyone's named after their father, so it's really confusing. There's like a family tree at the start of the book because everyone's named Andreas or something, so you have to like you keep getting confused as to who's who.
Is it a Spanish movie?
It's a book. I don't know if they ever made it into a movie.
Oh, I see.
100 Years of Solitude.
Yeah, that sounds like a movie.
They might have made it into a movie. I have not seen it.
Oh no, I'm thinking 300 years of.
Solitude. No. 100 Years of Solitude. It's a multi-generational story of the Buendia family, whose patriarch Jose Arcadio Buendia, and then everyone after that is either Arcadia, or Jose Arcadia. Like they all become like the derivatives. But it's the magical realist style and thematic substance is an important representative novel of the literary. It's a great book. I think I read it in like my literature class, and then I think I actually, spoiler alert, I think I might have stolen it from my high school, because I still have it, and it still says it has like the like stamp on it that says like whatever our library was called. I'm a thief.
I think there is a movie. I don't know if it's.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's
pretty
It's a pretty popular literary book, so it would that tracks.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
What made you think of that?
Oh, we were talking about cholera. So he also.
Oh, right. There's cholera in that.
Love and Time the Karma and 1,000 Years of Solitude is the same author of the book. Anyways, so Zachary, Tyler, this is, you know what? It's okay, Deep Throat. This is exactly what we want because
he dies.
We got time. We got time to fill, so we could go off on many tangents. So he was actually an American military leader who served as the 12th president of the United States from 1849 to 1850, serving only 16 months. He's originally...
Was he a very good president, would you say?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
He was like a general, one of those general presidents, eh?
Yeah, so he was in the military all of his life. He was in a lot of battles. He was a very successful general and militia man. They called him, a career officer. When he became Major General, and he was a national hero for many of his victories during the Mexican-American War and the annexation of Texas and Mexico. And as a result of being this like war hero, that's basically how he won the election. Is everyone kind of just saw what he'd done in the military and decided he should be the president. But he was very vague about his political beliefs. He wasn't really a politician. He's the first president to have been elected president without holding any sort of like state position. Like he wasn't a politician or a governor or a lawyer or anything beforehand, where all of our past presidents have been like scholars and land and all of that.
I find that quite odd because it's not like they were at war when he was president, right? That's strange. I guess they're just like, this guy's good, I guess.
Well, so that's the fun fact that I have written down is he was nominated to run for president without actually being present and agreeing to it.
Wait, so they're just like, you're president now.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
I mean, I guess they nominated Taylor to be president without his knowledge or presence at nominating convention. They sent him a notification of nomination without postage paid, but he refused to pay the postage and did not find out about the nomination for weeks. So they were just like, "Hey, that war hero, let's nominate him so that the Whig Party can get him in there." And they were right. They were just kind of like playing the system.
Wait, so he didn't want to be president though?
No, I don't think so. And I think that's why he didn't do a very good job.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. He literally, I think, accepted it because he wanted, like, so he was a slave owner and was pro slavery,
Mm-hmm.
but wasn't pro expanding it to the rest of the states of America. And I think the Whig Party thought he would,
Mm-hmm.
and so they thought if they gave him that power, he would like go and do it. But he was like, "No, I'm good. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want to keep it where it is. I want to keep the Union together, and I want to keep us chilling." And so the Whig Party was really pissed off at him. But he won.
Wow. This guy's like, I'm surprised he even is president.
Mm-hmm.
Was president.
Yep.
Like compared to the last guy, like he just seems like he's doing nothing. The two guys between James Polk did nothing.
Mm-mm. And actually, James Polk knew Zachary Taylor. Sorry. He was the one. Polk sent him to Rio Grande for the battle with Mexico, which I think we talked about last episode of the like where he sent people in to like disturb the peace. Yeah. And then that's what, and then Mexico retaliated, and Abraham was like, "Wow, man, like,
show me who got shot." Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think his connection with James Polk and then also being a war hero is just basically like I feel like we're now getting into the like kind of like popularity contest and less about we're nominated someone who's like good for the job.
Who wants to who wants to like build a country.
Yeah. And then like also there's ulterior motives for these different political parties putting certain people in power because they want certain things passed. Which is kind of crazy. So the Whig Party convinced a reluctant Taylor to lead its ticket in the 1848 presidential election, despite his unclear political tenets and lack of interest in politics, which I find hilarious. He had no political office beforehand. He also kept his distance from Congress and his cabinet, even though tensions were really high, because we're still getting close, but not yet to the Civil War. But it's coming. But he basically like picked all of his cabinet members relatively separate from the rest of the Whig Party, and then he just was like, "All right, I don't do politics. Go forth and do it. I'm gonna go hang out with all of my war medals and just like hang out.
Go polish my medals.
Just gonna go polish my medals." And then he was only president for 16 months. Apparently he accomplished little aside from the ratification of a Clayton-Bulwer Treaty.
What's that for?
Which was a treaty between the United States and the United Kingdom. They wanted to build a canal. They wanted to build a Nicaragua canal from the like Pacific and Atlantic coast. So there's like a little path that they wanted to like canal out. But then they couldn't find the money to do it. And actually recently they've been trying to do it since 1850. Like, there's updates still to, like, I think the last update was from 2017. They still don't have the money to do it. Can't find the money to do it. Because what happened was the French built the Panama Canal, and the U.S. ended up buying interest in the Panama Canal and went, well, we don't need to build this one because that one's just, like, a 30-minute boat ride south. So we'll just use the Panama Canal as well for our shipping. So I guess he was just a part of signing that treaty. That was really the only thing of note.
And that I guess still not finished today.
And it's still like he did it, but then like it didn't go anywhere. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. His vice president Phil Moore, which is the next president that you'll be looking at, ended up assuming his presidency and served the remainder of his term. I don't know if Fillmore went on to be president again, or if he did the same thing as John Tyler, where he just, like, finished the presidency and didn't, like, rerun or not.
It seems like he did. So, this guy was for 4 months, I guess? No, wait. Yeah, March. Wait a minute. No. Did it say 16 months?
16 months
yeah,
for
so
Zachary Taylor.
So then he just polished off the last 2.5 years, I guess.
Yeah. And then I don't know if Fillmore continued on after that.
It doesn't look like it from... No? It says 1853 he was done, and then Franklin Pierce was the next number 14.
So, not a short president, but you get 3 years, so that's your next one that you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
He gets more time than this guy, at least.
That's true. I mean, he served more than What's-His-Face. The one that I
William
thought had a
Henry
nice
Harrison.
nose.
It's
Yeah, he
funny.
only served like a month.
Every time a Whig gets in becomes president, he dies.
Well, that's the thing. There's kind of a
Whig curse.
conspiracy. So he died July 8th, 1850s. This is my favorite that I read was, doctors of the day believed his death was caused by cholera contracted after eating fresh cherries and drinking milk on a hot summer day, which is such as like a 18th century like diagnosis. Like he ate his dinner standing up, and your stomach can't digest it, so he died. But there are rumors that he'd been poisoned because of like the Whig, basically his like he kept butting heads with the Whig Party, and they're like, we put you in power, like why haven't you done the things we want?
You're proposing that he was poisoned by the Whig Party.
I'm not proposing. That's what I read on a website.
Was it Wikipedia?
There's more. No, it was, I don't know, I just Googled, like, 10 facts about Zachary Tyler. So I love doing that because it gives me, like, a quick synopsis.
10 conspiracy theories.
10.
I think that, like, I guess this was last week after that, yeah, and then, so I guess the Whigs are coming to a close. They didn't do much, to be honest. They didn't do anything.
They were fighting,
So
well,
far.
they become the South, basically, or a lot of the Whigs were a part of the people who wanted to expand slavery, so the Civil War is what changes a lot of that.
Oh, I thought the Whigs were against them. See, still don't know what a Whig is.
No,
It's because they didn't do
they
anything.
were for it.
I'm finding it out now.
Huh?
I guess, yeah. Well, the only Whig I've studied was William Henry Harrison, and he died after a month.
Here you go. Yeah, I've been on a back-to-back.
Whig.
No. Yeah, I guess John Tyler was a Whig.
Kind of, yeah. Partially. Not a true Whig, though. Interesting. And so, did you read anything about his earlier life? Maybe we could fill the time in with
Kind of.
What was he like as a child?
I mean, that I didn't get into. It didn't give me a lot of that. Historians described him more a forgettable president than a failed one. So on the scales of like being a good or bad president, they were just like, we can't even scale him because like he didn't do a lot. He fought in the War of 1812. So he was a part of a siege of Fort Harrison, where he successfully defended a fort against Tecumseh, who we've talked about before. He then commanded the fort for 2 years. He was in a part of the Black Hawk War, which is a conflict between the United States and the Native Americans, led by the Black Hawk and Sauk tribes, which basically was like they like crossed a river into land that they weren't. The Americans said they weren't supposed to. They were trying to get back land that was stolen from them. So again, I also don't side with Zachary Taylor already even more. And then he was in, I think, 4 or 5 different types of battles that he won in the Mexican-American War. So he was a really good, like, general and, like, major and military man. He just wasn't a very good president. Oh, well, he also never voted. He never voted in any.
Did he vote for himself?
Elect.
Probably not.
Probably not. He didn't even know he was nominated.
Maybe he voted for the other guy just so that he wouldn't have to do the job.
Yeah. I don't know. And another one, the little fun fact that I found was that he was a descendant of William Brewster, who apparently,
like Brewster's Millions?
I think, well, I don't know. It's an English official and Mayflower passenger. He was a preacher in the Plymouth colony. Apparently, William Brewster, I think, is like a famous, like, historical person in the Americas that I know nothing about.
Me neither. Apparently, Brewster's Millions is a movie. Not, I know nothing about.
Brewster. William Brewster was an English official and Mayflower passenger in 1620. Plymouth, not Plymouth. Wow. I hope people listen to that and laugh, because I said Plymouth. Yeah, he was from the Netherlands.
Oh, this guy was?
No. I'm talking about William Brewster
Brewster.
now, his, like, ancestor. He was, like, I guess one of the, like, officials that came across when they were first discovering America or like immigrating to America. The Mayflower is a big one. There's people who are very proud that they have ancestors who are the Mayflower because they're like, man, my family was here first, even though
it's like the people who write
land...
first on YouTube in the comments.
Yeah, exactly. First. And that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like it with these ones who do nothing and die.
I know it's tough.
It's hard to fill an hour. What could we talk about? You got any controversial opinions?
Controversial opinions.
we should like do something where we get in an argument. Our first argument.
Oh. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I cherish our friendship too much to be able to justify it.
I don't even know what we.
I can fake fight, but I don't know. Fighting takes so much energy. I'm like, I don't even want to fake one.
Yeah, and I'd be clipping my microphone if I was yelling.
That's true.
Oh, you know what is an interesting little continuation of a previous podcast.
What's that?
So ChatGPT, famous viral sensation. It was bought by Microsoft, and then they put it in Bing. And so the search engine Bing.
Yep.
So basically, everyone's like kind of like making fun of how sassy this search engine is now. Like it will often like if, for example, a lot of a researcher called Marcus Hutchins, who researches malware. He was playing around with it, and he asked it when Black Panther 2 was coming out. And it said, it thought, first of all, that it was like a year ago. That the Bing thought that it was like 2022.
Right.
And he was like saying, no, you have the date wrong. It's 2023. And it got so sassy and it started gaslighting him.
I love it.
Yeah.
The rise.
This is the future where your search engine will gaslight you when they're wrong.
And sass and give you sass back.
Yeah, and call you delusional.
The robots, they're taking over.
And they're stupid.
And they're stupid.
So that's a little update on ChatGPT.
Do you remember Ask Jeeves?
Yeah. Yeah, that old man Butler.
That old man, little butler man. I don't know if he's around still.
Did you ever use Ask Jeeves? I was like very young when. I think I might have asked him a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I mean, I was a
It was dissolved in 2020. Jesus Christ, 2006.
2006.
Can't even say the year anymore.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't even know what day it is. I lived as a youngin, without a computer for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
how old were you when you like? I'm imagining that you got a family computer, like everyone.
Yeah,
that you all shared.
That we all shared, and I think I was 15.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And that was late because I remember a lot of my classmates. It's weird that we're talking about this. I feel like I just had a conversation with somebody about this.
Oh, not with me.
But no, it wasn't with you. It was somebody else. Awkward. I have other friends. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
This is where the fight starts.
You have other podcasts? Yeah.
I record it just afterwards, and we just talk shit about you
the
entire time. No, we didn't get a computer until a lot later.
Mm-hmm.
And we also had dial-up.
Yeah, we did too.
I remember I came home for way too long. I came home from college, I think maybe second year, but I think I'm exaggerating. And I remember my mom messaged me being like, I have a surprise, an early Christmas present surprise. I think I was coming home for the holidays, and I came home, and I was like, and she's like, it's upstairs. And we go upstairs, and I'm looking around what? She's like, do you see it? And I'm like, no. And there's a modem, a Wi-Fi modem, and she just set up the house with Wi-Fi, and I was like, oh, cool. It had been out for a while, so but anyways.
It was
yeah, so
go ahead.
to round it up, I don't know. I think I may have done it once. I had a friend. I had like that classic like rich friend who had a computer. Where
Wait,
go
sorry.
over to use the
Do what
computer
once? Ask
to
Jeeves?
ask Jeeves. I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
only maybe like used like one or twice.
Yeah.
This is a long, winded answer to get there. But I had a I had a friend that like classic when like when your first friend gets a computer like a household computer, you would just like go over and like they would use it and you would just sit there and
Yeah,
watch.
yeah. They'd be like, this is Freddy the Fish.
Yep. Club Penguin.
Putt goes to the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
We had a
And then-
computer, but we didn't have internet for the longest time.
Which is so wild to think now, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Because what are you supposed to do?
yeah, but like really, you can do a lot with a computer without internet.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, it's unspeakable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but back then you had like CD-ROMs that you'd install
Yep.
programs and
Yep.
stuff download.
We were just talking about the cereal boxes that
Oh,
used to
yeah.
give out
Like
video
Yeah,
games.
like Yahtzee, Boggle.
They have the Game of Life and like Monopoly and
Monopoly was my favorite, and Operation,
good.
that was a good one.
yep. Like you'd never see that ever again. Is them giving away like if it would be anything, it's the demo and like that would be it.
Mm-hmm. But back then too, also
Wow.
video games often just you needed a code to unlock the full game. So if you just whispered, this is like just me going on a tangent now. But once my cousin got a game, a demo, and then on it for his like N64, and he just walked into the game store and looked at the code on the back, and then just
Oh my god!
used that.
Stop it.
And it's like it wasn't like people could still use that real game. But yeah, that was like one of my memories from a child. We walked for like 2 hours to the video game store so we could get the code for his video game.
Amazing.
Classic. It was such a different time back then, so everyone was more patient.
It's true. Yep. There was less things to. I mean, it's funny how like as technology's advanced, you just get used to like the high speed,
Mm-hmm.
and like you still think it's slow sometimes because you're just so used to it being so fast. Like I would hate to go back in time and experience dial up again.
Yeah, just even. Do you remember like having an actual dial into the internet?
Yeah, it would take.
And
I
it
would.
would work
and,
all
like,
the time.
It wouldn't work all the time, and then you could make a phone call.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I remember I could only... I was a latchkey kid, so I would get home before my mom would from work, and so I could only... And I would run home because I could go on the computer and go talk to the people that I had just been at school with on MSN.
exactly.
I don't know why. Like, what? What are we talking about? We all experienced the same thing. But I would have, if I got home early enough, I would have more time on the computer because the moment I got home, I had to be off the computer because she needed the phone. Because she had to call somebody or talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then I couldn't go back on until she watched her stories after dinner.
Watched her stories? Like her TV?
Yeah, you know, like, that's what my great aunt used to say, her stories, just like the soap operas and like her like nightly show. Like, get off the phone, I gotta go watch my stories.
Wait, why can't you use the phone when you're watching TV?
No.
Oh, it was on the internet?
Yeah, sorry. I couldn't go on to the computer until she was like, she'd be on the phone before and after dinner.
Oh, I see.
And then like after dinner and she'd watch her show. That's when I could go back on the computer. So I had like a window of time at like that, like 3:30, 5 o'clock. And then I could go back on at like 8 to 9. Like that'd be it.
Yeah.
Unless I was playing a game that wasn't on the internet.
They should bring back MSN.
I think so too. That's what, like, I do feel like hi, welcome to our podcast
Nostalgia.
where we're now no longer talking
My
about
favorite nostalgia.
It's not nostalgia. So Facebook
Mm-hmm.
started as a college networking website where you could meet people and like
Rate their
basically
faces.
nerds wanted to hook up with girls and they wanted to meet without having to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
It then evolves into this social networking and it's the first of its name. And it's crazy how now it's become like those kids are no longer on Facebook. It's now our parents who have taken it over.
Yeah, exactly. And
I only use it for Messenger, and like that's it.
Yeah.
If MSN existed, I think we could transfer over. I'm trying to get more people on WhatsApp.
They do have I was looking at a thing. It's called I don't know why it's called this, but it's called Escargot. And
Oh,
it's basically like a little way to set up your own MSN server and talk to your friends.
that's pretty cool.
Windows. It's also Windows Live Messenger. That was a banger too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring it back.
Wild.
Gotta bring it back.
Bring it back. Except for the weird chat rooms. I don't want to bring that back.
No, I was never much of. I guess like as I said, I had internet so late that I kind of missed the like everything was insecure state. Well, nah.
Well, I mean, you dodged a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I have friends who saw stuff at a young age that they should not have seen on the internet. And know now today, like, that's the heart of a lot of they're like, yeah, no, I in my formative years, I should not have seen that horrible, grotesque thing on the internet.
Oh man, I miss the old internet though. It was so slow and
Yep.
so simple.
Yep. That just...
I mean,
I don't even
this
remember.
is
Like,
great
I would
too.
just go on MSN and talk to... This is great, too. I mean, Discord, I think, is also great.
Mm-hmm.
Social gathering.
Zoom calls, meetings,
Mm-hmm.
working from home.
There was one that I had with a couple of my friends. I forget what it was called. But... And we ended up... I think we only used it for, like, maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. But it was meant to be like a open forum, kind of like a podcast, but not really, where you just leave voice notes for each other. So it's like this like string of consciousness where it's like you get a notification to reply throughout the day, and so you just like respond to whatever somebody said. So it's like come to you like instantly. It's like a weird delayed experience, but I feel like I'm misinterpreting what it was. But you could like go back and like listen to the entire conversation later, which is kind of fun.
Oh, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Everyone's trying. All the kids these days, they have new social media where it's like, have you heard of Be Real?
Yes, I heard Be Real died though.
Oh, what do you mean? What's that mean? Like
It's
not cool
it's not
anymore?
cool. It's not cool anymore.
Yeah, I'd understand that. Like, think
it's
about
cringe
it. It's
now.
probably boring. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Well, like, yeah, I'm not doing. Some days I don't do it. Like I do stuff, but I'm like, I don't know. I go to the grocery store, and then sometimes I just stay home and read a book.
yeah, and then you can take a picture of that and then say, "Look, hey, look, I'm being real," and then everyone's like, "That's boring. Do something interesting."
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but like, yeah, I am being real, but I don't need to share it with you.
Yeah, we should make a social media thing where you just don't go on it. It's I don't know. We'll workshop it.
Don't go on it. We're not gonna. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, you get points for not doing anything.
The longer you're not on it, the more popular you'll be.
Yeah, the higher the longer you don't go on it, the higher your posts are rated. I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
What's
Or
the next
never.
business venture? Or never.
Did this guy have Zachary Taylor? Did he have a wife?
He did.
What was her thing?
Her name was Peggy?
Oh, Peg. That's a classic name back then.
Yeah. I mean, her name her name was Margaret, and then Peggy's the like short form, which I love when the names and nicknames of the name don't actually make
Not even
sense.
close.
Yes, they had six kids together. She was from a prominent family of the Maryland planters. Her father was Major Walter Smith, who served in the Revolutionary War. They had 6 kids.
Did this guy have slaves? Because I remember saying the first 12 had
Yes.
slaves. So I guess the next one didn't have slaves. Maybe. Or maybe he did.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like he might. I think you're not going to see it until Franklin Pierce. I think because Millard Fillmore is Zachary's vice president.
True.
And I think he'll have had slaves.
Oh, he says Fillmore. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But it says on his page, throughout his career, Fillmore declared slavery an evil, but that it was beyond the powers of the federal government.
Oh, so he's like,
But he's not.
I God, I personally don't agree with it, but I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Classic political take.
Yeah. And so maybe he didn't own slaves, or did he just like, I don't know.
Find out now or next time.
Yeah, eventually it becomes an amendment. I think one of the I can't. I think 13th maybe amendment. Would you ever be president, Dutch?
No, I mean,
What if you were voted in without you knowing?
that would be pretty dope. But I feel like the stress of it all, I would probably just step down.
Do we need a president?
Yeah. I think you always need. Okay, sorry. Just had a classic moment where 3 sentences started in my head, and I tried to start all 3 of them at the same time.
Try it. Give it a try. See if I can understand what you're saying.
I don't know if I could say 3 words at the same time. No, I think I remember taking learning about government in like a political science class, or that like elective that you do, where you learn the basics before, and they just see like, hey, did you like that? Go into this course.
Yeah.
Where democracy is not the, like, historians would say it's not the best government, like, plan or setup, but it's the best we know to this day. So there's still room to grow and change on democracy versus communism versus socialism and all that, whatever. So I do think you always want to have one person, because we just talked about this in our pre-discussion where we just had friendship talk about a director. You need someone to make that final decision, instead of everyone just sitting around twirling the thumbs, because you never get anything done unless you had someone to veto which way or whatever.
Yeah.
The shitty part is we are humans, and we have egos, and we have ulterior motives, and we are not evil, but we do choose things that may be perceived as evil. So that's the tough part. So yes and no to your question of, do we need a president?
What if what purpose does a president serve that couldn't be? I guess I understand what you're saying. Like, what if
like, you need someone to say, like, Mary and Jim are fighting over if we should have a law of don't have snakes in the bathtub, and then your president says, yeah, I think we shouldn't have snakes in the bathtub. Done.
you say, I guess it's settled.
Because, like, if you vote and you have a tie, who's breaking the tie?
Vote again.
That's what was just happening in Congress, where they didn't make a decision for, like,
yeah, they'll figure it
forever?
out. Just lock them in a room, get them to keep voting until one of them changes their minds.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Maybe a better way is to maybe if you don't have I don't know. Who knows? It's I'm not going to be president.
I'm not knowledged enough on politics to know what might even be better.
I don't even think that's a requirement these days to be president.
Oh, no, I just mean in the discussion of, like, should there be a president? I don't know politics well enough to answer that question, too. Let alone be I do think I could be president without having any sort of political knowledge.
It is nice to have a face to blame, though.
Yeah.
You say,
Well, that's
sinful.
That's the thing, too, is I feel like a lot of people get their knickers in a twist about certain things when it's like, that's just the face. Like, there are a lot of decisions made outside of that person's purview that you probably should be mad at that made the final decision, but they're just the fall guy and have to take the, I don't know.
I don't
I forget
know.
what the word is when you, like, ownership of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Responsibility.
Responsibility, yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day there won't be a president, and maybe it'll be better, or maybe it'll be worse.
I mean, every great empire always falls.
Every podcast has to end eventually.
This is true.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well,
You're not calling our podcast
not...
an empire. You're calling America an empire. What do you think will last longer, America or our podcast?
Oh, America.
That's quite optimistic.
Because our list, I mean, hey, you know what? We might last longer. It's a very high possibility. I just know, what are we going to do after we finish all the presidents?
Well, we'll start doing my favorite whatever's next. What happens in America now that there's no America? Is it just dolphins taking over?
Yeah.
My favorite dolphin.
Or the robots.
My favorite robot.
All the Tesla
my favorite Bing.
vehicles.
My favorite chatbot.
My favorite Bing. Yeah. Yo, man. Very unrelated. Elon Musk's Twitters are insane.
Like his tweets?
His tweets, yeah, sorry. I just became a boomer and said Twitters.
That's alright. Twitter's not cool anymore.
Yeah. His Twitter,
What's his name?
He posts wild shit.
Alright, I'm just pulling them up now. I'm gonna read his latest.
I think today's were like a bunch of posts of like a Shiba dog as the new CEO of Twitter. Mm-hmm. Like he's posting memes.
He's doing dogs again, eh?
Yeah. He's just doing like these weird memes, like your aunt on Facebook sharing like weird blingies.
I'll be honest.
They're not like.
This looks like it was made by an. No, it doesn't. I don't know. I'll be honest. This is the weirdest midlife crisis I've ever seen in my life.
Gotta go to here. I'll send you the one that I saw. I mean, let's see if it's still there. Yeah, it's been a lot of dogs. And then, okay, and then I'm going to screenshot this and send it to you. Because he oh, Jesus. Sorry, I can't technology.
No worries. You're a boomer now.
No!
You gotta go get a boomer. You gotta be a boomer eventually.
I don't ever want to be a boomer.
He just keeps, this is just a bunch of pictures of dogs.
Yep, bunch of dogs. And then the one he sent, I'm sending to you now, is like, I'm going to describe it to our audio listeners.
Okay.
As opposed to our non-audio listeners.
It's a picture, it's a circle. Everyone imagine a circle. And it says Earth at the very top. Mm-hmm. And then in the Earth is like, you can kind of see inside of it. And at the top is the Easter Island heads.
Head. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then at the bottom, on the other side of the world, is Stonehenge, and those are it's this giant guy's just giant toes hanging out the other end of the earth. And then in the middle, coming out perpendicular to the giant, is his giant stone penis, and it says Washington D.C. Yeah, and that's the what is that called? The Peace Tower or something?
Is it Peace Tower? I thought it was the Pentagon.
Isn't the Pentagon
like below that?
Five-sided? It's like the thing that's in. I think it's called. Yeah, no. Peace Tower is. Oh, Peace Tower is the Canadian thing. What's it called? Peace Tower.
It was in the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Oh, never. Okay, no. The Pentagon is like that. The shape, which is the Pentagon, but it's flat. Got it. The Washington Monument.
The Pentagon is a pentagon shape.
Yeah. Washington Monument.
Yeah. Okay, that's a bad name.
I feel like if there are any Americans listening right now, they're just like yelling at whatever device they're listening, just what it was, and we're just like.
I like the thing that I thought it was the Canadian equivalent of it.
Yeah. Oh nope, that's the Peace Tower.
I wonder what that does, and I wonder what our Peace Tower does. Tells the time.
Yeah. It's actually a giant stone man's penis out of the earth. Yeah. So the CEO of Twitter is posting that, and I saw that the other day, and I was like, man, oh man, what a wild time to live.
I guess and then the sub, like the title of the post is not the post, but the byline is there are no coincidences.
No coincidences. Yep. Yeah, he just lost his mind.
Man, what's gonna happen to him? Is he just gonna? Oh my goodness.
I don't know, man.
Is he just gonna like fizzle out? Do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I part of me says yes, but part of me is like weirdly too like paranoid that I'm like, I feel like every stunt or publicity or public post is done for a reason.
Oh, you think he's
Or like
do you think that Kanye does that too?
yeah, it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, I think Kanye does actually have like
Mental illness
that needs to be supported, and we have a crazy crisis in both Canada and America of people who are not supported.
Yeah, but can you take it easy on the anti-Semitism at least, Kanye?
I mean, that's true.
Hey, ye.
Yes. But that's what I'm saying is like we've entered this era of like negative press is good press.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't tell what is someone actually being racist or them thinking that they, at least they're thinking of me kind of thing.
Did you see him on Alex Jones? Kanye?
I did not.
Oh.
I heard that he was going to be on it, but I did not watch it.
It was rough. Like even like Alex Jones was walking him back. He was like, "You don't actually believe that." He's like, "Yeah, I do believe this." It was
wow.
It was a very and the whole time he was wearing a black bag over his head.
Wow.
I don't know. I thought it was like not even him or something because like why wouldn't he show his face? I thought like it was just like someone faking his voice with the AI.
Oh, a deep fake.
Yeah, and that's why they didn't show his face.
I mean, I do agree that when you are, well, it's twofold. When you're in fame and popularity and like that level of exposure to the world, I think that you are more highly susceptible to just not being good in your own self. Mm-hmm. But I think too, being a genius or being someone who excels in like one single part in their life, coupled with fame, is also insane. Like you're just opened up to so much. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm like articulating that correctly.
I can't imagine I'm sure being if like that famous. I'd hate that.
Like if you were Einstein nowadays, I think he not that I'm saying Einstein and Kanye are the same person, but I do think Einstein probably said some crazy whack ass shit, mm-hmm. but we just didn't have social media back then that no one has a record of what it is that he said. You know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. So yeah.
God does not play dice. That sounds pretty whack. What's going on with that Einstein guy?
What's going on with that?
Oh, here's a question. Einstein overrated? Question mark.
I don't know if I would say overrated.
Would he be the smartest man? Do you think if like you asked anyone who the smartest man would, they'd probably say Einstein. But is that really because he was the smartest, or just because everyone thinks he's the smartest man?
I think he's not the smartest, but I think he was the most. Well.
He was definitely smart. I just find it funny that like of all the people, like he's the. It's almost like too much. I don't know if they like saw him back then when he was alive like that. But can you imagine? Sheesh. I'd be like, geez, people.
It's too much, man. It's too much.
Too much.
I definitely think other scientists or mathematicians did other more or equally significant things. It's just that he became this like pop culture reference. Mm-hmm. So maybe a little bit overrated.
Well, I wouldn't say he's overrated, but he's just spread the love around, you know?
Yeah, let's talk more about Madame Curie and how she discovered radioactiveness and like lost all her hair and teeth.
How do you think she was just doing that in her house, right?
Yeah, she just didn't know. They didn't know yet that the materials were deadly. She was just like, I don't know. I'm just a scientist and my teeth are falling out for some reason. I probably have been having enough carrots. Couldn't be this radioactive material
Maybe
that I'm touching with my bare hands. Yeah.
Man,
cholera.
Wait, how do you say it again?
Cholera. That's okay. I said Plymouth instead of Plymouth.
Yeah. And you said Physics.
Physics.
I'm never going to let you forget that.
Words are hard, man.
Yeah, and who needs words? We don't need words.
Who needs words?
No,
yeah,
no.
I'll just make sounds.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
Yeah. What would be a good look at this? We're almost an hour in. What would be a good way to wrap up this podcast? A nice little bow. Really
Nice little bow.
Maybe we could do a cliffhanger.
Ooh. I mean, I will say that I think Zachary Taylor wasn't exactly set up for success.
No.
Nor did he try.
Nor did he want it, maybe.
Yeah, and I will say out of all the presidents, his photo really matches what he...
Yeah.
How he was. Like, he just looks even pissed off to be in this photo of his portrait. You know what
I need
mean?
to, he's obviously from the photo, the grumpiest president. I want to look at different photos, though, just to see if... Oh, he looks kind of happy in this one.
He's actually just won a war?
It's a painting, though. What?
Did he, like, win a battle or something, and that's why
yeah.
he's all happy?
He's not even smiling, he's just not frowning, so I guess... Here, I'll show you. He actually kind of looks like a nice grandpa.
Nice grandpa.
Yeah. Let's see if I can... There you go. He's got a nice, soft-looking face.
I know that what we should... go. One thing I've never experienced is the Hall of Presidents at Disney, and I think we've talked about this. You've never been to Disney.
They're like, are they waxed? No, I've never been to Disney.
They're not waxed, but they are animatronic.
Right.
So they're like, I think a mixture of like plastic and like a mannequin, basically. But they've got like their arms and heads will rotate, and like Lincoln stands up and stuff.
Tips his hat.
Yeah. And then you also get a, like, I think they do, like, a quick... Yeah, they have, like, voice actors that, like, speak over top. They don't... Their mouths don't move or anything, though. And they do, like, a quick synopsis of, like, what they did in their life.
My name is Zachary Taylor. I died.
I didn't want to be president, and I shot myself to death. That's my voiceover. Unconfirmed. I have no...
Wikipedia did not say what he sounds like.
These are things I've made up. He did not shit himself to death.
Well, maybe. Well, he probably did.
Probably did.
Maybe.
I mean, you know.
Or maybe not.
I am probably going to get visited by the ghost of Zachary Taylor now.
We should invite him to our podcast.
The ghost?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like they exhumed his remains. What?
Assassination theories. US... Wait. I just got to the bottom here.
Remains of U.S. President Zachary Taylor exhumed to determine if he was poisoned 30 years ago.
What did they find?
The remains were transferred to the office of Kentucky. The remains were returned to the cemetery at appropriate honors.
Can you imagine if they did find arsenic in him? That would be a juicy story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in 1978, Hamilton Smith based his assassination theory on the timing of drugs, the lack of confirmed cholera outbreaks, and other material. Then in the late 1980s, Clara Rising, a former professor at University of Florida, persuaded Taylor's closest living relative to agree to an exhumation so that his remains could be tested. But then it doesn't tell me on this website what happened.
On Wikipedia, it says that neutron activation analysis conducted by Oak Ridge National Laboratory revealed no evidence of poisoning as arsenic levels were too low.
There you go. But it's also like he died in 18. You're exhuming someone almost.
Yeah. What would they? Ooh, can you imagine having to do that?
Yeah. 1815 to 1991.
Would they be like bones?
Yeah, but you can get, it would just be bones. But the core of a bone, you can get a lot of DNA. The marrow, you can get a lot of DNA information from that, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Do that to the dinosaurs.
Very, very unrelated, but kind of not. I watched forever ago. I watched a documentary on 9/11, and
Steel beams.
The steel beams.
What's that?
But they were talking.
What's it called? The documentary? I'm sure there's lots.
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. I remember it resonating with me. Where they were like, it's an absolute tragedy, obviously, but the scientific leaps and bounds that they were able to discover of like how to process DNA and how to like start to track certain things, advance them much quicker than what they were expecting, because they were at this like global event where they needed to, like let families know, like if their family member was either just missing or actually passed away. They there were bones that they were able to extract DNA from, and science just like went into like a hyperdrive, and they got more funding than they normally would from the government because of this tragedy. So that was like that little silver lining that they've now been able to like go back and solve other cases because they had a better DNA sampling.
Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah, there's always something. There's always something there'll always be something that happens as much as it's a tragedy. It's like when you find yourself in a spot and you've like, I'm not communicating well. When you find yourself like, you're like, man, I've had these trials and tribulations in my life. If you hadn't had those trials, you'd never be where you are today. So it's kind of like one of those things. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I feel like my brain has 7 or 2 brain cells right now.
Me too, for some reason. I guess. Well, yeah, busy week, and also boring president.
Also a boring president.
Busy week.
Yeah, I think
president.
like honestly, like I had a lot. Reflecting back, like. I think so far the reason Van Buren's been my favorite president is he was actually just interesting to read about.
Yeah.
And like I actually like fell into the material and like found myself going deeper in and learning about more because I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Oh, that's kind of cool type of thing. And I think we'll get more and more of that as we go on the list.
Yeah, to be honest, James Polk was very like interesting to learn about. He wasn't a good person, but he was definitely.
That's like. They don't have to be a good person. Like, even if they're a bad, kind of shitty person, I'm like, whatever. This guy is just like, I'm a war dude that I just don't want to be president.
That's the motto of the story. You can be good or bad, just don't be boring.
Just don't be boring.
Or be boring, and that doesn't matter.
Just be outrageous.
Yeah. Whatever you do it full-assed. Full
ass.
Don't half-ass. Full ass, everything.
Just full
Use
ass
your
it
whole
all.
Ass. You sit with both cheeks on the stool.
Nips to the table.
Nips to the table. Nips to the table.
Yeah.
Cheeks to the chair.
Cheeks to the wind.
Cheeks to the wind. That sounds like you're like hanging upside down. Then.
Yeah, out the car window.
Yeah. Well, what should we? How should we sign ourselves off? Do you think? Should we start a new tradition?
Sure.
What we can? Oh, jeez.
I mean, what tradition? What do you mean? Like a joke? Like a fun facts?
I don't know. How do traditions get started? Does it start with someone saying, "Let's make a tradition"?
I think so. Well, I think no. It usually just happens happenstancily.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
have a family tradition. We have a table that we bring to every family gathering.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a very fancy table. It's just one of your like classic, just like metal legged snap under
Like
wooden top.
Yeah.
But we've just started to sign the bottom of it every single time. So like
for
every year,
every Thanksgiving, you said?
every family gathering.
Or
So
what?
Thanksgiving, Christmas, We've done birthdays. We've
Every
done
time
like
the table
a family.
comes up, basically.
Every time the table's used, and like, we just like sign and we just say what it was for.
Cool.
Yeah. One time my cousin signed it and she said, I think it was Thanksgiving, and she put whatever year it was. She says, the year. Oh shit! Now we gotta edit that out. The year Dutch had.
I had
Dutch
a feeling
worms.
you were going to say your name.
Yeah. Well.
That's the first time. We did.
This
We
is the
did.
first. I mean, it's not bad. 12 episodes.
How's that for a
One
cliffhanger?
beep?
Yeah, that's a perfect cliffhanger.
Yeah. But yeah, the year Dutch had worms.
Worms.
Yeah.
Why'd you have worms?
I didn't have worms. She was spreading falsities and lies amongst my family gatherings.
Wow. And now it's documented permanently
And
on
it's
the table.
permanent marker on the table every year.
Immutable.
Yeah. That's
Well,
funny.
Okay, I'll be sure to edit this one.
Yeah. I just need a redacted.
Yeah. Beep. I'll beep it out.
Yeah.
And then I'll leave the part where we confess that we just said our names. Okay, I have.
Yeah.
Confess to the audience, I have a real name, but you're never gonna hear it unless Dutch says it.
I mean, it's funny. I think I'm more
Likely to say your own name.
aware of saying your name than it is my name.
To be honest, the funny thing is, I was just gonna say your name too when you're telling that story.
Huh?
I guess because you were talking about writing your actual name. Anyways.
That's true. Anyways, guys, I don't know. Tradition.
Secrets out.
Oh, tradition is at the end of every episode, we almost say our names.
or we do, we beef them up. That's the new tradition.
Ooh. Oh, but hey, you could just put a bunch of beeps at the end, like I'm saying something.
Mm-hmm.
In a,
Oh,
like
like,
that. Like I've seen.
Like if I asked you what you thought of me, then you would say,
I think you're that you should maybe go and put it out and let everybody know. And then if you bleep out certain words, it sounds like I told you to go like fuck yourself or something.
wow. Yeah. So
Yeah.
What you just said kind of hurt me, to be honest.
I mean, it's the truth.
Alrighty. If I'm bleeping one, I might as well bleep them all.
Yeah, just go in and go buck wild.
All right. See everyone.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hey everyone, go
Sorry.
fuck yourselves.
There you go. That's an tradition. We ended off with go fuck
Go
yourselves.
fuck yourselves. Goodbye. Take care.
Bye-bye.